All right, we're going to record this little next section. Let's have a conversation about what you really sell. I'll just go around the room and I want to quickly hear, what do you really sell? I want to hear from a couple of different niches. Tyler, what do you really sell?
The ability to sleep at night.
Okay.
So if you know your numbers, then you don't have that constant fear that you're losing money, wasting money. You don't know where your money's actually coming from in your business.
Okay, great. So kind of ruined my presentation. You're not supposed to get it that quickly. We had 30 people on the call. No one got the right answer. But we're going to keep going because I don't know if everybody's got it. What do you sell? Frank, what do you really sell?
I think the confidence in themselves.
The confidence in themselves. Okay, confidence. Jeremy, what do you really sell? Do you really sell science?
I was going to say
Confidence?
confidence.
Okay.
Confidence, no, in like your own ability to, more so in your own ability to change and just see that you're capable of so much more.
Okay.
I think confidence in that sense.
Okay. So if you're selling confidence, what don't they have if they don't have confidence?
Just in their ability to do something themselves.
Okay. So what kind of feelings could that arouse?
Afterwards or?
In that moment? If they don't have the ability or the belief that they have confidence, what is the feeling that they might be experiencing? Uncertainty. What else? Fear. What else? This is good. Let's just keep going. We're gonna just unpack this. This is gonna be extremely helpful for you guys. So, one more person.
Lack of motivation.
Okay. So you're selling lack of motivation.
No, I'm just saying that person would probably lack motivation.
So if somebody doesn't have motivation, what feeling is he experiencing? Fear of missing out. And what is that triggering? What kind of fear is that triggering? Or emotion is that triggering? Anxiety. Okay. Anxiety. Stress.
Everybody wants to be validated in some kind of way. So I think that validation people seek from outside external validation. So to be okay with yourself and building physique or getting from A to B, losing fat, whatever it is that you're trying to do, they need that. They want that. They want to be accepted.
Good. Okay, we're getting closer. So what I want to challenge is something that I've taught over and over because I never sometimes think about things that are being taught to me. It sounds good. I deploy it. But I was talking to a very, very successful copywriter at Empire, Ian Stanley again. Guy's a genius. Sam, you guys are going to love this. Joe, you're going to love this. Anybody writing copy, all of you guys are going to love this. So he challenged us on what we're really selling and what we need to do when we communicate. And we've been talking about RIA, results in advance. You've got to produce results in advance. But has anybody ever bought a result? Has anybody ever bought a result? So, maybe a haircut. So let's look at RIA versus FIA. FIA stands for feelings in advance. So are people buying a result or are people buying a release of a feeling? Does it feel good when you buy? You're releasing something. All right? There's a dopamine hit. If somebody is experiencing anxiety and you purchase something, they get a hit. It releases like stress. Does anybody ever buy a vacuum cleaner? A vacuum cleaner produces a result. It cleans the floor. But why do you actually buy the vacuum cleaner? Not to get yelled at from your wife. Not to have your girlfriend get mad at you. Not to live in a messy place that feels like a state of disorder. So what are we really selling? Results in advance or a release of feelings in advance? So now the next question is to identify what these different emotions are. All right? There's 8 core emotions. Joy. So these are core emotions. Each one of these has kind of like a low-grade version. You know, what's the low-grade version of anger? Yeah, frustration. What's the low-grade version of guilt? Embarrassment? Yeah, embarrassment for what? Maybe not sticking to your values, not sticking to your word. When do you experience guilt?
Eating muffins?
Yeah, so why is that? You're eating muffins. So why is that creating guilt? Because you're not sticking to something. What are you not sticking to?
Going against values?
Your values. You're not sticking to your values. What's the low-grade version of shame? It's already kind of been said. Yeah, embarrassment. What's a low-grade version of fear? It's been touched on already. The state that pretty much everyone lives in every minute of the day. Anxiety. What else? Scarcity. Worry. Uncertainty. Yeah. What's a low-grade version of pain? Yeah, and if you're annoyed, how do you feel? Do you feel good about yourself? How do you feel? Depressed? Sad? When you're in pain, are you happy? Is anybody happy when they're in pain? No, they're miserable. So they're sad. All right? Do you notice the order of these emotions? You notice how are they sequenced? Notice these are all dark. Notice how these are all, how we can maybe describe as light. Now, what you need to understand is that emotions are not good or bad. They're just emotions. All right? And the reality is that the more someone feels, the more that they buy. The more they feel, the more they buy. Write that down. The more they feel, the more they buy. Sean Stevenson has a great quote, the 3-foot man, and he says, make them laugh, make them cry, make them laugh and cry to buy. It rhymes. Make them laugh and cry to buy. Right? If somebody cries and if somebody laughs, those are like the greatest states to be in. Make them laugh and make them cry to buy. All right? So what are these emotions that we want to really focus on? You know, is it, you know, there's kind of now like a bit of a science here, because if we make people If we make people too sad, what happens?
I don't think they can do it.
Yeah, they sit in their bed all day and mope. They do SHIT. They don't do anything. So we don't want to make people too sad, right? But how do you get somebody to move? Which one of these emotions will get somebody up and fight? Like physically fight? Have you ever got up and fought somebody because you're scared? When do you get up and fight somebody? When you're angry. Why do you think these trolls who hate on everybody have such big followings? They don't even probably know what they've done, but they're stimulating the number one core emotion. It's not good or bad. It's just a core it's emotion. Pissed off people move. If you get someone really mad, they're going to go and make a fury. So what we have to understand is that everybody you're communicating with has a range of emotions. Some guys have a range like this. Some guys' range is like this. Our goal is to expand their range and get them to feel more. All right? Do you guys all have a better understanding of what you're actually selling right now? And that none of us are selling sales pages or emails or tech programs? Kind of Tyler knocked it out of the park on the first thing, on the first opening there when I said, what are you selling? And he said, certainty. And Joel provided this amazing graph. The reason people are afraid to spend more money on their funnel is because they don't have certainty that it'll work. And I don't blame you. I wouldn't spend more money on something if I didn't know it was going to work either. So you're asking me to put more money down on something I don't know if it's going to work? That doesn't make sense at all to me. Doesn't make sense to me either. But when you have data, whatever, you have certainty that you know that it's going to come back in time. And it's why he can confidently spend over $1 million a month in ad spend. And even if he loses a bit, he knows it's going to come back. So he's got a package. What he's really selling is certainty. If I give you my money, I'm not going to lose it. So the business we're all in is the hope-based business. We're giving people hope. We're selling certainty. Every single one of us is selling certainty. Is this helpful? And the more that we can get these emotions felt in your communication, the more effective you'll be at having somebody invest into your service.
So
Yeah.
what's your response then to this? I got it this week. Someone, they're like, oh, I'd buy your program if I knew there was like a guarantee, right? And they're like, well, it sounds good if I'm making X by the end of Y.
Mm-hmm.
How can you guarantee that'll happen? Or I know you can't guarantee it, but something along those lines. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I would say, hey, I could totally appreciate that. I could totally appreciate that. Can I ask you a question? Is the reason you're scared because you don't believe this is going to work? So the reason they're scared is because they don't believe it's going to work. There's only 3 reasons people don't buy. All right, 1, they don't have the money and can't afford it. 2, they're not the decision maker. 3, they don't believe it's going to work. And the real reason they don't buy is because they don't believe it's going to work, because if they did believe it was going to work, they'd go get the money. Wouldn't you agree? They'd go figure out how to get the money. The only reason someone doesn't sign up for this coaching program is they don't think they're going to make the money back. If you're like, yeah, I give Vince about $2,000 a month, and that's going to look super tiny because all of a sudden I'm going to be making $2-3 a day. Well, the math works out. They don't believe it's going to work. I give Joe $5,000 to work on my copy. I give Joe $7,500 to work on my copy. In the first week I'm going to make that. I'll probably make that on the first day. Yeah, no brainer. Let's do it. I'm going to give Tyler a couple bucks to do my data, but this is going to set me up in a position to go from $2 million a year to $5 million a year. Let's get it done. I need to get more attention. I need to collaborate with industry leaders so people see that I'm an authority figure so I can raise my prices with less resistance. I need to get on more high caliber podcasts. Yeah, of course I'm going to work with Lewis. $1,500 a month, done, let's do it. So you got to know what you're really selling. Has this been helpful? Let's wrap up. I want to hear from 3 or 4 people. What's been most helpful for you? Go for it.
Can I expand on that?
Sure.
In that point of people not believing They don't think that they can do it. A lot of times it's not even that they're questioning you. So when someone says, like in your case, how can I get a guarantee? The honest answer is, I can't give you a guarantee. What it really comes down to is if you put in the work, that's what's going to make the guarantee. So sometimes a lot of people need to hear the confidence that you have the confidence in them. Because for a lot of us, like you guys already have the bodies, the physiques, whatever it is that you're selling, they really don't question you. They end up questioning themselves more so than you. So sometimes you have to give them the confidence that they can actually do it.
That's what I used. Didn't work. But.
Yeah, it's and the fortune's not in the follow-up, but in the frequency of the follow-up. So Jay's got a killer presentation tomorrow on overcoming objections. So to help you have that conversation with the right tonality, with the right sense of care, with hey, why are you thinking that right now? Can we talk about this? Where else is this showing up in your life, right? If you need a guarantee in this decision, this is the thing, right? Business is a metaphor for life. The gym is a metaphor for life. If somebody's having insecurity to invest into a program that could 10x their life, where else is this affecting other areas of their life? The poor girlfriend. She's probably been waiting for 7 years to get a ring on her finger because he needs a guarantee that she's not going to screw him over because he actually really got trust issues because when he was a kid, his dad left him. And it's coming from a way, way different spot than you're not even close to. And he was abandoned by people that were supposed to take care of him. And now he has trust issues with everything in his life. It's not your product. So it's now trying to figure out, are you going to let this prevent you from moving forward? And it's having that conversation. So these fears have come from a place of life, probably who knows when. And obviously, we're not therapists, but it's certainly something we can talk about to try and figure out the root. Does that make sense?